This is episode 32. She shoots, she scores. Jambardi here with Jordan and Tasha Jones in the building. How's everybody doing?
Pew, 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 pew.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I appreciate it as always, Josh. I'm gonna go into our hot takes. My hot take. I'm gonna start off with one of the fans' hot takes. The Indiana Fever should get rid of Kelsey Mitchell. I'm gonna just put you on mute right quick, Tosh. The Indiana Fever should get rid of Kelsey Mitchell and build around Caitlin Clark solely. The Indiana Fever should trade Kelsey Mitchell, meaning sign and trade her, and build solely around Caitlin Clark, meaning build out a better team. What are your thoughts to that? Anybody who won't go, y'all go.
I say, this is how you say thank you. This is how you say thank you. I've
Yeah.
been I've been down with Indiana since I got drafted, and easily you guys are ready to get rid of me just like that. Um, it's an interesting comment, right? It's an interesting request from the fans. I appreciate the request from the fans, but to be honest with you, I think Kelsey Mitchell is ready to explore her options as well. So it's not necessarily just let's get rid of her and push forward, even though that might be the way that it looks. I'm not really for sure. I haven't asked her. That is one question that I do want to ask her. But it's interesting in that thought process that she has devoted her time and her talents to the state of Indiana, and just that easy, we'll be ready to give it up. Um, However, if we're playing, this thought process of what it is and what it is not, that since Caitlin's arrival, they made it to the playoffs, of which Kelsey hasn't been able to do it by herself up until this point. And so I hope that Indiana finally realizes that they need more than just two people, than a two-man punch. This is not that those days any longer. They got to the playoffs with a three-headed monster, and they're going to have something to be equivalent or even more in order to go to the next level.
So they
That's my
shouldn't trade.
initial.
So they shouldn't trade her, or they should.
Like I said before, I think Kelsey Mitchell is going to explore her options as a free agent. So uh, we might not have a choice but to move on without her, because she's going to explore every possible opportunity. And I hope that she does, right? I think that if Indiana hasn't treated her right into this point, that she goes into a team that could, to use her skills and her talents more effectively.
What do you? So they should, Jordan. What do you think? They should keep her, or they should build around her, or no? Like keep her on the team.
Man, you know, like as a GM, I mean, this would probably be the best time to trade Kelsey Mitchell, right? Because her value is probably at an all-time high, right? This would be selling high, right? Because she made the playoffs for the first time. She had a great year. If I was a GM, like I would sign and trade her because her value is like her value will never get higher than this. It could only can it get higher? Like what? I mean, you're talking first team all WNBA then, or something in like the MVP category. That's the only way her value gets higher at this point. Um, I think if you trade her, but that's as like a value standpoint. Should they trade her? Yes. Like this is her highest value ever. But I mean, what would you get back, man? What would you get back? Because like there's I mean, you'd have to find something literally like Kelsey Mitchell to replace Kelsey Mitchell. You would need a pressure release, like instant offense. I mean, that's what you need in return. And how many of those are there in the league? I mean, you'd have to see what's available. But yes, I would trade her because you would get a lot of value back right now.
That's interesting that you call her instant offense. One of the questions in last week's game was, they asked her, did she have a nickname? And she was like, I'm not really for sure if I have a nickname. I don't have anything that sticks with me. And that was one of the things that I came up with and said, no, we call you instant offense in our
She's
neighborhood.
instant offense. Yeah,
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 she's IO in our neighborhood. And so I agree with you that in regards to value market rate, right? Like this is probably the best time for her to explore her options
yeah.
as a free agent. However, you hit the nail on the head when you said, what are you going to get in return? Because you're going to need somebody that can give you 25 and 6, 25 and
Yes,
7, right? And
literally like her.
yeah,
Yes.
and can go downtown, can drive down, and can shoot the outside shot. And
Yeah.
I don't know who's in the running for that.
Yeah, I mean, she's a really good defender. She's probably the quickest player on the TV. I mean, I haven't seen her in person, but she's lightning quick. And I think if you are building around Caitlin Clark, you need a sort of pressure release when, because she gets in trouble a lot, right? Like she'll dribble into defenses, and Kelsey Mitchell with very little airspace is able to convert a broken possession into a three or some sort of drive and kick. I think it'd be very difficult to replace something like her. And if you do, okay, so let's say we do trade Kelsey Mitchell. Let's say it's for draft picks or whatever. You have Aaliyah Boston, you have Caitlin Clark, and I guess you have something like Lexi Hall. This is sort of your core now. I mean, how does that compete against the rest of the league? I feel like that's not good enough. What do you think?
I don't think it's good enough, and I think you're going to need two people to replace Kelsey, and
Yeah,
that's being generous, right? Like you
right.
might need three, and then where does that put Smith, right? You need another big. We need some more elbow room. So this is going to be a hard decision, but I do think that it is a decision that any good GM is going to make.
I thought Fag Benley played really well. I don't know, like I thought she was pretty good, you know. But it was interesting because like they were down by 7 or something in the fourth quarter. They ran like 2 plays in a row for Aaliyah Boston. It's like Christy Side self-identified. This is their identity. It's actually when they need a bucket, they have to go to Aaliyah Boston. What did you guys think about that?
It's interesting that you say that because they needed a bucket, went to Aaliyah Boston, and Aaliyah Boston found Kelsey Mitchell on the down, cutting toward the rim. So in the thought process, Aaliyah Boston can score. She did go to the bucket, but at the same time, she can see, and she caught a cutting Kelsey Mitchell, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're talking about in regards to replacing the Kelsey Mitchell. You're going to need somebody who can slice. You're going to need somebody who can drive to the bucket and score, and somebody who's quick enough to defend, and somebody who can shoot that
It's
three-pointer.
a
So
lot.
that's a lot to get rid of to replace in one person. And who are you going to do that? Who's going to do that? Like I said before, I think you're going to need 2 or 3 people to replace Kelsey Mitchell.
If I could, just a few things. So regarding that, was everybody on TikTok, 6'8" caps, everybody? The question that we had asked, if you're kind of just joining us, and I know I was having technical difficulties early, was Kelsey Mitchell, should they keep or get rid of her if they're trying to contend in the championship window? So some of the points that I was asking, and this was because a fan asked this, if they keep her, the question is, do they go any further than the 6th seed or 5th seed? If they keep, is this the best version of the Fever that we'll see right now? So that's one part. And then the other part of the question is, if they don't, could they have a more stout team like a Minnesota, like a Las Vegas, where you have more role players? And like you were saying, with a sign and trade, losing some players and picking up some players to draft and free agency and kind of rounding the team out. 6'8" says, of course you keep her. Braden kind of agreed, but then he kind of started to disagree. Slim did some people. It's a mix. The comments are mixed. So I wanted to hear what y'all thoughts were. But again, I was telling them, Tasha, to your point, I was telling Braden, you never know. She could just leave. That could be her. That's well in her right too. Of course, she's a free agent.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think, Jambari? Should they keep her?
again, it depends what you're looking to do. I don't know. It depends what you're looking to do, because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, if you keep her, is this the best version of the Fever? And that's the question that I need the GMs to answer. If it were me, I would try to honestly just build around her and Kaylin and kind of round out the rest of the team, and see what happens. You can get another big, you can get another shooter, and kind of see what happens. They can get somebody in the draft like Tina Pow in the draft, and then kind of have Kelsey still, and then see what happens. And then how about this? Even like maybe for a year or two, I'd probably keep her around and see, and then kind of see what happens. If you need to trade her, then trade her, but I wouldn't try to trade her first. I would try to keep her, but it was an interesting thought, because I'm like, if you do sign and trade her now, you will get more players back. You know what I'm saying? You'll get more players back, and that ultimately could help your team move forward further in the future anyway. So just something to think about. Because is it better to have a big 3 with a minimized bench or a big 2 with a really stout bench? So that's something to think about as well.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the salary cap differentials and deltas are with all this revenue coming in. Like, if they'll have more, like if everyone will just have more money to sign people, or how's that going to play out?
Yeah.
So
they're doing the expansion draft, and then they're doing expansion draft, then it's free agency, then it's the regular draft, and then it's training camp. But these are some of the notable names in the expansion draft. So I'm like,
these names are in the expansion draft. Like, you
I'm
could
sorry.
get
I'm sorry. Free agency,
I was
rather.
like, what?
Thank you, Jordan. These are some notable names in free agency. Thank you, Jordan. So you got Tom. A lot of the let's do it by team. A lot of the Connecticut Sun.
Get these players in the expansion draft.
Hey, yeah, you wish. You wish. Well, a lot of these players, Connecticut Sun again, Brianna Jones, Liz Thomas, DeWanna Bonner. Like, it's a lot of players. It's a lot of players that'll be changing. Can I ask you this? They asked this question earlier. Do you see 6 changes in free agency, or do you foresee over or under free agency moves? And I'm gonna go with the number 6
for the Fever.
For just in general, somebody told me today on a live that they feel like most of these players are going to re-sign with their old teams, and they're not going to change. So he said that he's going to go under with the 6. So I want to know what y'all thoughts were on this.
I don't know. That's a tricky question in regards to over under, but I definitely think people like Kelsey Plum, who's a free agent, she's going to stay with the Aces, those types of things. But Indiana has more than one player than Kelsey. Erica Mitchell is also, Erica Wheeler is also up for free agency in that thought process. If you're trying to build a team around Caitlin, you're going to have to position her and play in with the floor that she likes to control. And she likes to have that control. She likes to be the floor general. You're going to have people fall in line to that. I'm not really for sure if Kelsey Mitchell fell in line to the thought process of Caitlin being the floor floor general. Yeah. So in that thought process, you're going to have to build. If you're looking for free agency, then I think there are going to be some people in there, but you're going to, like I said before, Kelsey Mitchell is so hard to replace that you're going to need 2 to 3 people to replace her. Just everything that she contributes to the Indiana game, right? You're going to need 3 or 4 people, at least 2 to 3 people to replace Kelsey Mitchell. Could you get it done with somebody like Johnson out of LSU, who has high energy, who can be there defensively, who can play, who can give you 10, 12 points a game at the same time? She could be helpful, right, in that thought process. And it will breed entertainment value, especially as it relates to her being on that same team that Angel Reese was on, that contingency between Chicago and Indiana. Now you're looking at this game from a holistic standpoint, and how are you going to bring those fans into the stadium and keep them there? The W has ran into some entertainment value, and now they're not only looking for a replacement of players, but also that entertainment value. And people like Johnson already come with their own crowd, already come with their own followers, already have some accountability to what it looks like financially, and can be able to fit into any organization and provide you that 10 and 10, or what you need, that 10 and steals, 5 and 5 with the steals, 5 with assists, and those are the type of high impact players that Indiana should be looking for, in my opinion.
Facts. Couldn't have said that better. So speaking of a high energy, and I want to say, because you mentioned one word specifically, high. You said high energy players. There's something else that you mentioned. High entertainment players. DiJonai Carrington won Most Improved Player of the Year. I want to know, what are your thoughts to this? So I got a picture of her, Marina Mabrey. they come a long way. Yeah. What are your thoughts? So fact or fiction, she should have been awarded the Most Improved Player of the Year award. I'm just playing some more stuff. There, here's yours. Facts. Okay, cool. I'll let you start first. Is there anybody else that you feel like had contention in running, or that you might have felt like?
Oh, Kennedy Carter from Chicago.
Yeah.
Definitely in the contention, right? Even if her attitude and everything else was the same, where a lot of coaches or a lot of people have said her past has kept her out of the game. This coach understood exactly what she needed and put her in the best position to shine. So she definitely should have been a contender.
Kennedy Carter for sure would be one of my
Yeah.
picks.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I would have picked Carrington. We were gonna say Jordan. I think they got it right.
I think they got it right too. Only pushback is, do you think that DiJonai Carrington just got more playing time this year? And it's just one of those things that we just like didn't see last year? Because I'm looking at the stats. She only played, first of all, she didn't start a single game last year. She came off the bench the whole year. And she only played 17 minutes a game. So that's less than half of the game she played last year. I think this is a little bit of just like opportunity as well, and we get to like really see how good she is. Because I mean, I think she got her chance and she ran with it. So I thought it was a great pick. Dearica Hamby was a good one too. She had like a career high in points this year too. Carlton, she had a lot of big shots, but yeah, I mean, I think they got it right.
Okay, good. I mean, not good, but I just wanted to see what y'all think. Kennedy Carter finished fourth. I thought that was a surprise. I thought she finished either second or first. Carlton came in third. I thought she finished either second or third. And then shout out to D, who obviously had a great season. I didn't think that they had awarded her for her season for what she did. So
Somebody voted for Sabrina.
but, I mean, she has been playing amazing. Alana Smith got a vote, Jordan Horston. So yeah, somebody did vote for Sabrina. I don't know how she feels about that one, but that's good for her. Shout out to Sabrina for that. But yeah, wanted to see your thoughts. Obviously, Lissa Thomas, she spoke about these comments regarding the fever. I mean, we're not gonna speak about it too much, but I do just want to highlight, she said that there's no room for racism, etc. Christy Sides also mentioned the same thing. So I want to say for everybody, Fever fans, because they've been jumping on Kelsey a little earlier. If y'all hearing this is not us trying to pile on Kelsey or anything like that. This is more so of just an exercise. If you're the Indiana Fever, what are you thinking right now? Because this is, they have to think about it from each side of it too. If we keep her, if she doesn't, do we want her back? If she doesn't want her back, so
For a minute there, you cut out, so I missed it. Can you play the quote too?
yeah, that's not a problem.
Can't hear the audio,
You can't hear
but
it?
no, but we've got the captions.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, you can.
I didn't see it. Run it back. I'm sorry. Are you?
Oh,
That's okay. I can get the gist.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so she is just obviously saying that she doesn't want to have these fans coming at her all aggressively with racist and flagrant comments. If I can get the audio, I'm sorry about that. We pull. I'm sorry, we can get the audio pulled up, but yeah, just to I guess not to move forward, but just I guess to kind of move on. Let me ask you this. Let's speak about the Aces and the Liberty. So it's a lot of people's championship pick. Speaking about the New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces, I'm gonna ask you this: over or under 25 points for Game 1 for Asia Wilson for the semifinals to start.
Over.
I'm going over.
That's over, bro. She averages more than 25.
She averages 27. So okay, so why would you think that they're okay? So who do y'all have winning Game 1?
Aces.
Liberty.
So I'm gonna ask you a better question. Why?
I think
What
Asia
ha-
Wilson is on a mission. I think she is on a mission to solidify her name. She's a go ahead.
I mean, Asia Wilson, I mean, it's hard to argue against Asia Wilson, but what have the Liberties shown you that makes you think they're not the favorites? You know, they show. I mean, what weakness have they displayed where they're not the favorites to win the championship? You know, they've got their own superstar. They've got an emerging rookie hitting timely shots. She's hitting and she's also hitting them at a crazy percent too in Phoebish. So, I mean, they've got veterans all around too. You know, this is led by a two-time champion. I mean, these are the two best teams. You know,
Let me say
uh,
this because you said
but
veterans. You said veterans, but I'm like, okay, veterans. You got Chelsea Gray,
She's
Kelsey
hurt.
Plum,
they're
Jackie,
veterans too.
Asia Wilson. They're all veterans. And again, New York was winning the series last season,
So
and they
I,
ended up losing.
yeah, I want to go back to a couple of things that Jordan said. Although I think that this is going to be a test of will, that this is going to be who wants it the most. I don't think that this is going to be an issue in regards to talent and what they bring to the table, but it's going to be who wants it the most and who goes into those games and finishes those games with the will to win. And I think sometimes when you play a sport, when you're on that basketball court, this is why basketball is so amazing because nobody can predict at any day and time. You can be on or you can be off. And the favorite just got sent home. Indiana just got sent home. They were the favorite too. I mean, in some sense, there were so many people hoping and pushing and praying that Caitlin Clark got to this space and beat Connecticut, right? But at the same time, they're at home. They're gone fishing. So I think for me, I'm going with the Aces. I know that Gray is hurt. Somebody is going to have to step up. I think Plum is doing that right now. I think that they have this momentum. And like I said before, I think Asia Wilson is on a tear just to remind you that she's going to be the greatest of all time. And that's something.
Well,
Yeah,
what
I
about
mean,
Stewie and Vandersloot and Sabrina and Jonquel? These are veterans too. And Sabrina had a really good first round series. Too. She averaged 27.
I'm not
so
arguing against your point. I'm not arguing against your
Oh,
point.
okay.
I believe the Liberty has a strong chance. In my opinion, I believe that that the Aces are going to come out. They're going to prevail.
yeah, I got the Aces. I got the Aces, Jordan, because I'm not betting against the first person in WNBA history to do just everything. I'm betting on Asia. So again, like you said it best. Would you bet your salary against her to lose? And my answer was no. So I'm gonna just roll with that answer. With that being said, there's no way I'm betting against her,
Let
especially
me
when they already think about it like this, right? I think about it like this. You play video. I don't know if you play video games or who. Fine, video games, recreation, any type of recreational sport, cards, dominoes, whatever. Let's say you're competing against. Let's say this
Asia is the ace. Asia's the
for the
ace.
last for the last 2 years. For the last 2 years, you done beat everybody in your family at cards, dominoes, video games, whatever. You done beat them. Boom. Year one, then year two, you beat them again. And what's funny is the last opponent that you had to face, you're getting ready to face them again. So do you feel like, oh, they're thinking, oh, we're scared of competing against somebody we already done beat again? No. And they're not scared of the league. Like I'm not. This is not an Aces campaign. Don't get this twisted. But don't. Why would you think that they're not the favorite, even if they're losing? And they got the best player in the
Well,
game who's playing at a level nobody's ever played at.
the Liberty are probably the second best player in the game.
But that
Probably.
gap is so insurmountable. It's
It
not.
is. It
It's
is.
not a question.
The
And I
Liberty
love
have,
Snoopy, but
the
it ain't
Liberty have
a
home court
question.
advantage. The Liberty have
Home
been playing
away,
well. They have
home
been.
away. Paris, Europe. It don't matter where they're playing at. I'm taking Wilson.
This it. I just feel like if there is one scenario where I can see Vegas losing, it's this round against the Liberty. Do you agree
If
with
it's
that?
one, one scenario where Vegas loses, it'll be this round. I thought it would have been.
Can
Yeah,
you see them
I
losing
guess
to
you could say
Minnesota
that.
or Connecticut? Like
I
they
can
don't
see them
have.
losing to Minnesota. I don't think that they will. I could see them losing to Minnesota. I don't think that they will, but I could see them losing to Minnesota.
They won
Minnesota
the
can outshoot them.
championship caliber team that they beat in the finals last year. They don't have home court advantage. This Liberty team has had a year to gel together. This is. I mean, relative to last year, I think this Vegas team is just not playing as well as they did last year. You know, I mean, the last couple of weeks notwithstanding, but this is their one. Like, this is the only time where I can see them not being an overwhelming favorite. This is the if there is a time for them to lose, it's going to be this round. This round this year.
Let me just add my thoughts in here in the thought process of what's happening with the Aces, the league itself, the entertainment value of the league. This is going to feel like, do you remember NCAA tournament last year? It felt like Caitlin's revenge, like they were going to go against LSU and solidify the whole punch, and Caitlin was going to go on to win this storied was going to go on and win NCAA championship that was going to be perfect for everybody and perfect for her career. They beat LSU. They got past the hump and couldn't get past South Carolina. I think the very thing is happening with the Liberty. This game right here is
The
going
hump
to be
was the Atlanta Dream.
this is going to be the game. This is going to be the game that's going to feel like the championship for the WNBA. This really should have been the final matchup and not this matchup, right? But this is going to feel like that final game. There's going to be more eyes on this game than the final game, just like what happened in the NCAA tournament. And like I said before, this is going to be a feat for Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson is going to be the one who's saying, I am solidifying myself. There is no way that you're going to put anybody else in this conversation with me any longer. If she is able to pull this off with a hurt grade, right? With, as Jordan says, not working at the supreme and her at the caliber at the supreme level, right? Like Jordan feels like the Aces are a step down than what they were before. There's no way that anybody else is going to be mentioned along the same lines as Asia Wilson, because she is going to solidify herself as the GOAT. And when that happens, the league is going to go to a whole nother place.
Tasha, this would have been the finals matchup if the Aces played better this year. But it's a second round matchup. Because they're the fourth seed.
You say what it is. It looks like that they are in prime position to say we got an easy way to the championship. If we can get over the Liberty, then the championship is going to be easy. So it might have been strategy to let you all know. There's
home court advantage.
That's true. I mean, the chat is saying, "Oh, Iowa sold out all the games and Elite Eight, the viewership is going to be gone." I think it's going to actually do the opposite. I think, to your point, Tasha, I think it will drive more excitement to the league. They put the Lynx are not that easy in the final. So yeah, okay. So do y'all feel like Minnesota has a chance to speak? Let's look on the other side of the bracket. Do you feel like Minnesota has a chance of beating Connecticut? Because Tyrese also put, imagine if the Sun were to win this series. So meaning it'll be Sun Liberty or Sun Aces. What are your thoughts on this series?
Let me just say one more thing before we get away from New York. You know, the people from New York, unless you have, I think Cam said it best, unless you have the Yankees or the Rangers, it's always next year. And New York, NY, stands for next year. For the people,
Jesus Christ.
For the people who always feel like
next year, Jordan.
The next year, Liberty.
That's tough.
Always feel like New York is going to bring something through, right? Next year.
Let me ask you this. They said, can the Aces win without Chelsea Gray?
I think so.
Tosh says yes. I'm going to go with yes, too, because they got Asia. After watching the Lynx versus Phoenix, Lynx have it over the Sun. That's who he's picking over the Lynx. And Jordan, let's share something to respond to.
I think the Lynx could be the Aces. I just don't see the Aces as some sort of favorite. I think every team that's remaining could beat the Aces. I can see it like happening. Uh, the Lynx are really good, man. I don't know if this is. I mean, Collier is just playing out of her mind, dude. She averaged what,
Yeah, 42
40?
last night.
Yeah,
42 last night. 38 in game one.
38 and 42. Yeah, she's. So I don't know, man. I don't know if this is like a hot streak or if this is like if she could produce this every single night for the rest of the playoffs. But dude, she's incredible. Who do I think's gonna win this series? I kind of like. I mean, I think it's going 3 games.
Oh, it's gonna be sweet.
No, I don't think it's gonna be a sweep.
It's out of 5.
Oh, it's out of 5. Then it's going 5 games. It's going out of 5 games.
Okay. Yeah, me. Okay, go. Oh,
No,
bro, yeah.
I've got I think in 5 games, I think Connecticut's gonna win.
So you do got Connecticut winning. Okay, good. So I got Minnesota.
do. Yeah. It's
So you-
close though. It's like
That's-
51-49.
No, that's lunch money. What are you gonna say, Tosh? That's
You think-
Connecticut. We can put something on that right now.
Do you think it's gonna be close?
Not
No.
much money though.
No? Oh shit. You're crazy.
I'll go
What is that?
4-1. I'll give y'all a game. I'll give y'all a game.
Really?
Yeah, I'll give y'all a game.
It's lunch money. It's lunch money. That's what that boy said. In my neighborhood, we call this applesauce for the boss. It's applesauce. It's
Oh my
applesauce for the
god.
boss.
Bro,
So-
Alyssa Thomas is gonna grab shift the
I don't
lunch money
think
out
so.
of your pockets.
I don't
You
think
got they got shooters. They got shooters all around. Look
Yeah.
at this.
Avery's
so. I
off.
don't think so. We'll see, but I think it goes in 4. I'm with you, Reau. I think it goes in 4, and I think the Lynx come out as victors.
Yeah, I got 4. I mean, shout out to Connecticut, but no, I don't. They got Jordan. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players almost averaging double figures, and then they got another 2 off the bench that are putting up.
That's not gonna happen when they play Connecticut though.
Connecticut don't have enough people to defend all them boys, or all that firepower they got. Like that's not.
Jordan, what's your rationale? Show me the matchup. Show me. I mean, prove it to me.
Okay,
So who's guarding Fee? Who's guarding Fee? Start there. Who guarding Fee?
Alyssa Thomas isn't gonna get any minutes on feet.
I'm asking you. You think she could guard her for 40 minutes? Because she's just coming off of averaging 40.
I think she can slow her down or at least contain her.
Oh my gosh. All right, keep going. So Fee. So who else is gonna guard Fee? Because it's not gonna just be her.
I mean, like you're gonna play team defense. There's no way you can just one-on-one match up someone the whole game. I think you're gonna have to play entire team defense on Visa Collier. Like that's what every team would do. That's what everyone does to Asia Wilson.
Jackson put 3-0 Lynx, 3-1,
3-0.
3-0, 3-0. He put 3-0 Liberty, 3-1 Lynx.
I don't think it's 3-0 Liberty. I think that's gonna go all the way as well. I
That's
think
going
both of them are
7.
going.
It's aces. It's aces and 7. Y'all tripping. Or aces and 5 rather. My fault.
No, it's gonna be Liberty in 5, and it's gonna be Connecticut in 5 also.
Yeah, it's aces and 5. Where you gonna at least? Where you gonna say, Tosh? Are you on mute? You on? No, you're not.
Okay, is that ready? I definitely am not going with Connecticut in 5. I just feel like AT is going to have more than 12 points, right? If she cannot play defense and offense, they are going to struggle, right? And I just think that she has to be more of a two-way player in this series than she was with Indiana.
But she's a two-way player.
I said in this series more than she was with Indiana. So in the upcoming series, more than what she contributed to the Indiana series, she's going to have to produce better numbers than that, in my opinion.
You don't think the physicality of Connecticut will bother the Lynx at all?
But they got too many players.
They have too many. They have too many threats, right?
Yeah.
At any.
It started muting Tosh.
I think they have too many threats. At any given time, somebody can heat it up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even if they're getting physical, you have just so many players that could just come in and shoot. So it's like, what are you really going to do? Like that. I think Connecticut, they're just going to get outshot. I think that Minnesota is like a more refined offensive team than Indiana. And Indiana lost by 6.
So Minnesota won the season series 2-1, and the
Right.
one game they lost by 2 points.
Exactly. My point. You're proving my point.
No, I mean Connecticut won the season series.
That's
The only
easy.
game that Minnesota won, they won by 2 points.
All right, keep going.
However, I will say Connecticut won 83-82, and then they lost 78-76. So, and then they won 78-73. So,
What were the numbers for Fee in those all three of those?
huh?
This I'm gonna pull it up too. You good? Keep going.
So after 3 games, like they outscored Minnesota by 4 points. So it's gonna be a close series.
So Fee had 25-6 one game. What else she had? Let's see what else she put up. She had 25-9. They lost by 5, and then they lost in overtime, and she had 31-4. That's what you're banking on.
They won the season series. They're a really physical team. Like, I mean,
I think this
they
is
already
a new level. Go ahead.
He was playing. He was playing all 3 of those games. WNBA. Gary said the WNBA season is over because Caitlin's not playing.
We thank you for your Indiana support, Gary.
That's funny.
Nafisa only had 9 in the second game.
Where do you see that? Let me see.
78-73. 9 points in 25 minutes. She got shut down. Alyssa Thomas had a triple-double that game.
Well, she's going to need more triple-doubles. Like I said before, she's going to need more triple-doubles because she did not contribute that way against the Indiana series. So if you're going
to 9-6, yeah, my fault. Keep going.
I'm telling you, without a shadow of a doubt, in order for Connecticut Suns to win this series, AT is going to have to show up. And she didn't produce those numbers against Indiana. So that I'm not going to take that back regardless of what it is that you bring. This is the playoffs. This is not regular season. And in the playoffs, her numbers were too low, in my opinion.
Fee got hurt that game. She left the game with a foot injury. That's what he's
Alyssa
leaving.
Thomas had a triple-double in the first game against Indiana. And the second game, she had 19, 13, and 5. And she played all 40 minutes last night too. So
who won the last game that they played?
Oh, I thought she only had 12 last night.
She had 19, 13. She had
12. Did she have 12 in the fourth quarter? Maybe.
I don't have that in front of me, but maybe.
Yeah. Then maybe my information that was sitting before me was wrong. So I'm still going to go with the Lynx. I'm not going to change that, but I do think that she needs those standout games that she can't come with just 12 points and 5, 12 and 5, of which that was the data that I had in front of me.
Let me ask you this: do y'all feel like, speaking of data, obviously we just seen that Kurt Miller got fired because of 2 losing seasons in Los Angeles. Do you feel like he should have got fired? Was that fair or foul?
I think it was. I mean, we talked about this earlier.
Yep. Yes, we did.
I think I said foul, and I think it's foul. I still think it's foul. He never really got a chance, I mean, his top draft pick didn't get to play this year. I mean, she did play, but she only played like not that many games. So
what about this other top draft pick? Yeah, top draft pick.
Kia. I mean, she was developing towards the end. I don't know. It's he had two seasons, right? Like, I feel like they could have gave it another year. Give it a chance, but I don't know.
You in LA, baby. You in LA, baby. I think people forget that when you are talking about these big markets, you cannot afford to have a losing season. Regardless, right? Then they have to put somebody on the injury reserve and pick up somebody else. You cannot afford it, and he got shown that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was foul or fair, but I say this: they're gonna rebuild with a different young coach that'll come in with Paige, that'll come in with Reau, that'll come in with Cameron. And then
coming with Paige, you said that like it's a fact.
He definitely said it casually, like it was already done.
You have like inside info on that, Reau Sports Media?
I mean, what else are they gonna do? They're gonna draft the young guard, whatever guard that they draft. Whoever they drafted, they'll come in with them, and then they'll start the team rebuilding with them. So
do you think it was fair or foul?
Do I think it was fair? I mean, yeah, they had 2 losing seasons in a row, and the team's not really showing improvement, and they want to move into a direction with a young. So how about this? They're not going to have a young coach, and then a coach with 3 losing seasons in a row and a young rookie point guard. You get me? So they're gonna start anew with everybody else. So I think it's fair for their situation. I don't think he should have got fired, particularly because I don't think he's a bad coach. So
I think when you say it like that, Reau, I think that that the what you're bringing to the table is he had 2 losing seasons, and maybe that's fair in regards to business, but it would be a foul if he don't get picked up somewhere else, right? Like he still deserves to be coaching.
yeah, he can still coach. He can still coach somewhere. I just think in that situation in LA, it kind of just ran its course in that situation. Let me add one of these comments. Yours truly put Spoon getting fired. What do you think about Teresa Weatherspoon getting fired?
It's her first year.
It is her first year.
Yeah. And did she beat their record from last year? I think she beat their record last year.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Jordan? Same thing. She's not gonna get fired. That's what the comments are saying. With it, one of them put Weatherspoon can't coach. I'll let y'all keep going. I don't think it's true though.
I said earlier a couple weeks ago that I thought it was foul. I think you should give her another year, but she's definitely on the hot seat when the next season starts. You know, I mean, I would give her another run at it with a healthy squad. You know, there was just a lot of. I mean, first of all, like, I mean, they had 2 draft picks in the top 7, so it's not like they had she was dealt this great hand in the first place. You know.
Right.
And you know, the was it the Mabry thing, and then Angel Reese, you know, lost her for the last couple weeks of the season. I'd run it back one more time, give her another shot at it.
Better question. Just to get clarity, we're running it back with the Indiana. Y'all are running the same team back. I want to just I didn't get y'all answers to that.
The Fever?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was clear for me that Kelsey Mitchell is going to explore her options, and that the Fever is going to be a new look and a new team next year.
Oh, so they should not run the team back. So Kelsey should leave. Kelsey should leave in free agency. So where do you think she should go?
I don't think that they're going to run the team back. I think we're going to lose Erica Wheeler and Kelsey Mitchell and
also
Smith.
probably
To be honest with you,
Nosa Smith.
I think Smith is leaving too. So I think that you're going to have a whole new team surrounding those role players that are already there. They got some playoff time, and that you're going to build around Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston.
They're saying Smith is gone already. She took it out of. So your agreement. So they should get rid of Kelsey, and then trade her for some pieces. That okay? All right.
No. I think you're confusing the language for me. I'm not in agreement that they are going to trade her. I think that, but the thought process is, this is how you repay me. If I was Kelsey Mitchell, if I were in my feelings, I would be like, oh, Indiana, this is how you repay me all that I've given to you. But I do think it is the smartest business decision, not only for Indiana, but also for Kelsey Mitchell. She can come out of this better, right? In the thought process, she could be in a position where she could be with a different team, make the money that she needs to make, and also be in an environment that celebrates what it is that she brings to the table.
Okay. All right. So now I got better follow up. Where do you think she should play next season? So if it's not Indiana, Chicago, Los Angeles, where is she playing?
That's a good question, man.
So I was throwing out Chicago and LA because, I mean, LA got the most to gain, and they had the ability to pick her up. And then Chicago, for the same reason that you have her with Caitlin, you pair her with Kennedy and do the same thing. What were your thoughts?
I like LA more than I like Chicago. I feel like Chicago, even though like every team could use a Kelsey Mitchell, I feel like Chicago kind of self-identifies that they need like a primary ball handler, you know? Mm-hmm. So I don't think they wouldn't prioritize, like that wouldn't be the number one target when they enter free agency to go after Kelsey Mitchell. But I think every team would benefit from having Kelsey Mitchell, including the Fever. But I think the Sparks might be a better fit for her.
What are you gonna say, Tasha? Kind of muted.
I you said, I think Kelsey Mitchell will fit into any team, including the Fever. I appreciate that. You know, it's almost like you're giving homage to what it is that she has contributed to the sport and to Indiana. So I appreciate that thought process. However, I believe not. However, because it's not going to deflect the comment. So I'm gonna say and I also believe that Kelsey Mitchell, as a player, as a veteran, she does not need to go into a situation that is um, unhinged, not running like a well-oiled machine, right? That may have internal
Vegas.
problems. Internal problems. I don't think that she should be a part of any of those teams, right? I think both Chicago and LA are going to have to do some starting over from the coaching staff. And I believe Spoon.
Wow.
This is where we were talking about in regards to Spoon. Spoon needs some help. She knows the game of basketball, but I don't necessarily know that she knows how to build camaraderie. And Chicago needs a camaraderie. They need camaraderie with one another. I think she also needs some help in regards to discipline and in the clutch and helping with her thought process in clutch plays. And I think that she's going to need a veteran to help her with that thought process. She's going to need somebody else that can rock with, similar to like Don Staley and her assistant coach. They just work well together, right? And that's what you need. Spoon needs that, and she needs some help. And so I hope she's able to reach out to some other coaches who can help her in regards to that thought process, give her some assistance in regards to that thought process, because Chicago ended up a hot mess, and they cannot afford to go back into this new season with the same problems.
So some of them, Terry put, great players don't make great coaches typically. The league is full of two guards. Kelsey Mitchell's best option is to remain on the Fever. People keep saying that as if Kelsey Mitchell is married to the Fever. She doesn't have to sign there.
Yeah.
And I always say this: what if she don't want to play in Indiana no more? What if she want to just move to LA or move
I'd
to
like
a
to see her on like a winning team, you know,
right, or go to Las
like,
Vegas? Like she don't have to play there. She does not. Her best option is where she want to feel like she want to
yeah,
play there.
like I
People,
mean, she'd be great on like Connecticut. She'd be great on like a lot of teams, you know. It doesn't have to be some kind of rebuild team, you know.
yeah. So hey, I definitely wanted to get y'all takes on that. But yeah, why wouldn't she have already left? I mean, you if you don't know this, professional sports, they sign the first contract for 4 years, then they sign the second extension. That'll be now. And then now she got the opportunity to do what she wants, which is she already made the money, quote unquote. Now she gets to go play where she want to go play. Like, what if she wants to play in a bigger market? Again, I said this too. And then again, I said this as well, because I'm like, with the Fever fans, they've been like, bullying her on Twitter, whatever. It's like, why would she want to stay in this environment, or any athlete? Why would they want to, why would they want to stay in that if they don't have to? And they can go make money and then go play at a different place and make money.
Right.
It's not like they have to do it. That's what I'm saying. Her best. I don't like when I say her best option.
It's tough because they won a lot of games because of her this year, you know. I mean, she missed some shots in the fourth quarter yesterday, but they won a lot. They wouldn't even be in this position without her this year, you know. So
but that's why I asked you about the ceiling question. Is this the ceiling with her as your, you know what I'm saying, as your third or secondary primary guard or secondary scorer? Is this the ceiling? So you think they win a chip with her and Caitlin if they bring this core back, her, Caitlin and Aaliyah? This is a champion. So that leads me to that. So the three of them are better than Las Vegas, Connecticut, New York, and Minnesota.
Okay, so let me say, I think what we saw with Indiana in the playoffs is that, as they are with Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, they are going to be tough for any team. They're going to stretch you. They're going to make you play, and that's what we appreciate in regards to that three-head monster. But I do think that they need someone else. If they keep Kelsey Mitchell, they're going to need another component that's going to be a dog, and they have to have it. Now, Smith has that possibility of being that, but she didn't exude that the whole year, and her time got cut, and her minutes, and her touches, right? So I just feel like, I just feel like this is going to be an opportunity for Indiana to to reassess what it is that they have and see what direction they're going with. At the same time, I think this is an opportunity for Kelsey Mitchell to reassess. And I think we got back to this topic because we're talking about Spoon as a coach, right? Like, I don't necessarily know how the correlation goes back in between Spoon being a coach, but I'm glad to revisit Indiana, being that this is my hometown and this is where I reside. I love what Indiana has done. I love the way we as a culture can grab hold to people. We have really just taken in both Catchings, who's not originally from Indiana, and Manny, who's not originally from Indiana, and they are heralded as people in our community that we always want to be in a community. Did Kelsey Mitchell have an opportunity to do that here? Did we show her the same type of love and affection that we've shown other Indiana players? Or is this issue, whatever the fans believe is the issue between her and Caitlin Clark, are going to solidify her movement on this team? Now, there's two things that bring pause to that. One, should Caitlin Clark have that much power and her fan base have that much power? And two, what are you willing to do for the people who have always been here for you? And those are questions that Indiana and their GM are going to have to answer.
Well, I don't know if they have power, but it's a real thing, because I'm like, people don't want to read these nasty comments. Like, I wouldn't want to read them. I don't like reading them now. So
I definitely think that they have power. There's been 3 people who got fired because of their comments about Caitlin Clark, right? What's the girl who just got fired from ESPN because of her comments from Caitlin about Caitlin?
Jordan, you know who she's talking about?
McNutt?
Okay, don't worry about it.
Andre got fired?
Andre got fired? No way. I just saw Andre the other day, right?
Who got fired?
There's Andrea McNutt. Who else?
They got fired? Andrea's on ESPN.
McNutt didn't get fired for ESPN. The young lady just got fired because of comments regarding Caitlin Clark. Cheryl Swoops got fired because of her comments regarding Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark and her fan base put a lot of pressure. And if you say the wrong thing, you can get silenced.
That's great. I didn't even think of it I've never thought of it like that. That's tough. Hopefully that's not
I think we're playing a close.
Well, Jambar, they'll never silence us because we love Caitlin Clark over here.
I mean, we try to be objective here. I try to keep it on sports and be objective, but that's why we were talking about Kelsey. That's why I brought up the reason why I brought up the Kelsey thing to ask, because the correlation, because you said she needs more time, and it just led me to believe, because you said she's having a new roster, which is why I'm like, okay, I don't think that the Sky have a better roster than the Fever do. And I'm like, people were saying that they expected this team to compete for a playoff spot, which was, I was like, why? Why are you expecting this? Those two things, I do wanted to see what y'all think. Again, for the record, I don't think Coach Spoon should get fired. I think she needs an offensive assistant coach or something like that. I think that would be best serving for her. I think she needs more personnel, especially on offense.
Yep.
Especially on the offensive end. So that part for sure. So I'll let y'all kind of go from there.
Well, back to the original question, it was like, what's the ceiling for this big 3 of Mitchell, Boston, and Clark? I mean, it all comes down to Clark's improvement. If Clark could get a little bit better at everything, I think that this big 3 could compete with pretty much every big 3.
I don't think that at all.
It all comes back to her, man. Because if she gets better, then she makes the other 2 more dangerous also.
I think she could average 30 and it still won't be good enough against the other 2. Against the other 2, I don't think, because they got 6 other players on their team, the Liberty especially. But Lainey Hamilton, Sabrina, herself, Phoebish, that's 4. And then Sadly could come off the bench and give you points. Who else? I'm thinking, who else? Spanish Flu could come off the bench and do work. Yeah, they got a whole, they need the whole team. That's what I'm like. That's why I asked that question. I'm like, is it better to have a big 2 or a big 3? Because I'm like, Chicago kind of has that answer already. They got 2 bigs. Now they just need to fill out the rest of their roster. And that's why I was like, why not go snatch a Kelsey Mitchell in free agency?
Like I said before, I don't think Mitchell should go into a situation where they don't already have camaraderie and they haven't built camaraderie.
Yeah.
She needs to go to a space where they are stable. And I don't necessarily know that Chicago is stable at this moment. And that's what I hope Spoon is building in this offseason. She needs to build camaraderie with that Chicago team, and that they know that whatever happens outside of Chicago and their core team has nothing to do with what happens with their team. And they don't know that yet. They don't know that yet. And I think it's going to be hard pressed if you don't look at it that way. And I think Spoon has a lot of work to do in this offseason. As it relates to Kelsey Mitchell, Indiana is going to need more than the big three to be contenders. They're going to need extremely good role players to come off the bench and that can give them points, and not just a spiritual uplift. They actually need some producers that comes off the bench. And
So how are you gonna do that if you paying a max to Kelsey?
like I said before, Kelsey is going to, I don't know how we keep coming back to this, but Kelsey is going to look at all of her options.
There you go. So that means you're gonna have to let her walk.
Not only is she walking, but like I said before, Erica Wheeler, and Smith.
So they're gonna have enough room. So they're gonna have enough cap to bring people. So now, okay. So you think they're gonna be worse next year than they were this year?
I don't think that.
Really?
I think they're specifically looking for puzzle pieces, and so when you find puzzle pieces, they're going to do what's necessary in order to make to finish the puzzle.
What are your thoughts about Julie Van Loo to the Fever? No, you don't like it.
That doesn't really change anything for me. Like,
it's a backup point guard. It helps Caitlin not play 40 minutes or Kelsey 40 minutes, and she can play defense and hit shots. So that's a no.
I'm taking Flavia over her. I'm taking
I feel like that doesn't really
I'm
move
talking
the
about
needle
this
for
free
me.
agency.
I don't think that really moves the needle for me. That doesn't really change anything.
So, you're not gonna get a super. Satu's not gonna go to the Fever, Sparky. They're gonna core her. So I'm like, what player? Neka Ogumake? Who are you getting in free agency that's gonna like move the needle?
Put up the list again for me, please.
I will, because I'm like, who?
I would take Neka. Neka's incredible.
Let's pull up the list. So this, and I'll go from the highest
Julie
paid.
Van Loo.
But that's a good puzzle piece. What are you talking about? You and Natasha Howard? Braden loves Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard?
I love Natasha Howard too. Brianna Stewart, she's pretty good.
Let's do this. Let's do it like this. I got y'all. I mean, who we going? Neka, Bonner, Plum, Sabali, Hines out. Like, where's the needle? There's nobody here.
I think Bonner would be a really good fit with
she ain't going. Clark. Not without the list. She's not gonna play there.
She would be a good fit though. She'd be a good fit. I'm not saying she's gonna go there, but you know, 3-and-D player, like, dude, that'd be really good.
Who name you got a name for us, Tosh? Who we picking? Diamond DeShields would be a good player, but I don't know how to, Michaela on your way. Like, there's a few names. I think they should go after Brianna Jones or Neka Ogumake.
I think Brianna Jones would be a good fit. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown would be a good one. But if I were Dallas, I would make sure I keep her. But Jaylen Brown would be a good one.
I don't see anybody on the list.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't see anybody on the list who is willing to leave where they are.
Stewie? She's not going.
To leave where they are to come to the Indiana market.
Gabby Williams?
Oh, she'd be so good. She's a forward, first of all. She don't even play the same position, but I think she'll be good in Indiana as another player. But I thought we were specifically looking for somebody who could take the place.
Anyone. I'm talking about anybody on that team that you feel like can fit in at that team. But that's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, so if it's not free agency, it's gonna be the draft. So then it's like who are you gonna find in the draft?
Oh, I'm taking Johnson. I told you already. I'm taking LSU. High entertainment value, and she can fill the role.
They get a 3 from. You're gonna have to make some trades with somebody in the league. That's the best option is to sign and trade Kelsey Mitchell if that's what you're thinking. Because I'm like, if you're trying to bring somebody back, you're gonna have to sign and trade somebody. What are you saying?
We getting rid of 3. We getting rid of Smith. We getting rid of Wheeler, and we getting rid of Mitchell. I don't know why you just keep talking about.
You're gonna have to sign and trade her so
players.
you can get somebody back. You have to, because you can't just find somebody in free agency. We just went through this list. This list ain't got nobody. So you got to sign her and trade her. Huh?
Do you think people want to play with Caitlin Clark? Because
I think people that want the spotlight want to play with her. People that want the spotlight want to play with her.
I mean, yeah, okay. Well, how many people want that?
I think there's a few athletes that would want the spotlight. I think there's a few. I think Asia Wilson would embrace playing with Caitlin Clark.
If only.
I definitely
think so. I think so. I think she like
I wish.
I think bigs will want to play with her, and I think people who want to slice and cut to the ball and can score well could play with her. Good one-on-one players, they could play with her, right?
I feel like Griner would be a good fit with her.
Because she gets guard shots opportunities, people wouldn't want to play with Clark for her talent. Do I think people will want it? It's like playing with LeBron and Luka. I think that they dominate the ball. I think they dominate the ball. So it's not that people don't want to play with them. It's just that their role is going to be changed.
Well,
so that's not what I'm saying. I think certain role players would be great to play with her, but I don't think most superstars are going to want to play with another superstar.
I mean, I think you'd have to be okay with all this social media, potential hate and all that stuff that would come your way, if you miss a couple shots. So,
Yeah, it gets wild. But again, so we agree free agency. So this free agency and for nobody is going to be winning this year in free agency.
So less than 6 moves? Yeah, I guess you're right, Marty, to circle back around.
Yeah, I'm not for sure about that. I'm not going to fully answer that thought process, but I am going to talk to you about, having more than one superstar. I think Luka and Kyrie together, we saw the problem with them and why they didn't go all the way or further in the playoffs last year, and that's because the actual team, the team leader didn't step up. Right, Luka had always got his role, and then as soon as Kyrie needed to step in, then he stepped in and did the work necessary. But if they were cohesive, they could have had a better team in that thought process, and hopefully they'll be this way this upcoming year. And I think that's exactly what we saw with Caitlin Mitchell and Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, right?
Yeah,
nobody was a defined leader.
Very similar.
Yeah, and because of that, you have the problems that we ran into. They have to, whoever comes here, have to be willing to say that Caitlin Clark is the face of this team, and everybody else surrounding her is going to be what it is that is surrounding her. Now, who can do that on that list?
Which made it very interesting, because down the stretch, they put the ball in Aaliyah Boston's hand, when they were down, 61, 68. They actually went to her 2 possessions in a row, which made that, lack of cohesion even more interesting.
Yeah, Satu is an unrestricted free agent, but Dallas is going to core her. They're going to core her and keep her. Regarding this, though, this is next year.
I see Katie Lou is on this. Katie Lou is on here too. Now I think they should get rid of Katie Lou. Look, that's $180,000. Why? Why are we giving her $180,000? Why? Now, no shade against you, Katie Lou. As a writer for the newspaper here, I'm not. I am going to be objective, but I'm saying, if we got $180,000 for Katie Lou, make room.
So here's some more. The reason I'm bringing, because this is 2026, so I'm like, if it's not 25, I mean, who are you gonna get in 26 in Indiana? Jackie Young, bring her back, maybe. Fee. There's some names. There's some big names in 26. So I would look for one or two of these names. So I would try and get some role players and get 1 or 2 of these names on board. But Indiana has to make moves, because look at them. They got a lot of their free agents. That's
who I wish would be who I wish would come would be Jones, Jonquel Jones.
She's a good player too.
I wish she would come and take that Smith spot, and then we can build around Jonquel Jones, AB, Caitlin Clark. What was the girl from Iowa last year who played with
Stolby?
Martin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think you're going to need somebody better than Martin. She's going to need 2 other players. But if we got Jonquel Jones, it'll make Boston's job easier.
Let me ask you this before we go. Hot takes or closing thoughts rather. Asia Wilson, greatest single season or history, greatest single season in WNBA history. Do y'all agree? Disagree? I'm gonna just go with yes. I think it is. Quickly, yes or no, and then that'll be my closing thought. I think she's having it. I think she's about to win 3 rings and 3 deep boards. So I'm not betting against Asia.
If she wins the championship, yeah, greatest
Okay.
season.
Okay.
I think the
But
jury
it's not
is
going to
still out for
happen,
me.
so you know.
We don't know that.
I think
We don't know that.
I think the jury is still out for me. Like I said before, if she wins this championship, she is going to solidify herself as the GOAT, hands down.
All right. I'll let y'all go with y'all closing thoughts before we close out. And y'all stay safe in this hurricane. What were you gonna say, Jordan, Tosh?
Closing thoughts. You know, it was a great season by the Fever. You know, captured America's attention. I think you know, a lot of people watch the WNBA that didn't watch it before, and you know, it's the start of 10-15 year run. It's going to be really interesting. See how this league grows.
Thank you, Terry. Terry said, "Thank you, host and panel, for such a respectable live." All right, y'all keep going. Appreciate it, Jordan. What are you gonna say, Tosh?
I just want to say 2 things real quick. I want to say congratulations to Indiana Fever to be back in this position. Indiana Fever is the team that has brought Indiana the championship before, and so we're looking forward to great things from them, and we appreciate those great things. I also think that in the coming year, the WNBA is going to bring up its entertainment factor along with its physicality and its talent factor. And so before we had the physicality and we had talent, but we didn't actually have that. We didn't actually have that entertainment value, and so that's what I'm looking for in regards to the upcoming season. And I can't wait to watch throughout. My third and final thing is the Aces are going to be champions.
Yeah, if y'all see me in Las Vegas, same thing Boog always say, go Sky, go Aces. I'll be up there for the finals, but I'll say this. For everybody listening on TikTok, y'all can always listen in on YouTube. We're live Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 5. And then I host the morning show and the afternoon show in the morning 7 and at 7 p.m. So thank you, y'all. I appreciate it. Deuces, with that being said, appreciate y'all.
Go Liberty.
Liberty.